Hello, Lightbenders. Bruno here from Lightbend Images and Photography, and I'm coming to you from Perth in Western Australia. If this is the first time that you're stopping by my channel, thank you and welcome. If you've been following my journey to date, I appreciate you coming along for the journey. All right, so nothing has changed. So right now, I'm still working or testing, focusing on the view camera. So this time I decided to go out at night to see if I can do that at night. And I picked a Sunday, which I thought the city would be relatively empty. But to my surprise, the city was still vibing when I got there. And the first scene that I was gonna photograph happened to be just feet away from a nightclub. So I must apologize for the noise because you can hear the thumping music, in the background. And at one point there, I lost sound completely, but I will try to fill you in somehow. For that particular evening, I got to expose 4 sheets of film. But instead of talking to you about, why don't I walk you through it? All right, so I actually set up the camera already. So basically there's nothing there. What I've done, because I want the image that's in the back there into the shot, so I set up my camera to the right, and then I have to shift back to the left to regain that composition. So once I've done that, so now it's time to focus and meter and get a shot. All right, so I'm gonna focus on that fake grass that they put in front of those model fruits. All right, so we got that. And I'm gonna focus on those people in that picture in the back there. And the guy got a label on his sweater or jumper there, so I want that tiny writing to be a bit sharp there. There we go. So I'm just gonna set focus here, and then we're ready to go just about. But first of all, I'm just gonna close my aperture. I need to shoot this somewhere around f16. So I need a minimum absolute aperture of f16. So there is a box sign that's in there, but there's no way for me to move it, but it's into the composition, so there's nothing I can do there. And it's legible. Yeah. All right, so let's see what we got here. My eyes got me to shoot this at f20. So which is relatively f16 because I'm close enough. All right, so now I'm gonna meter and see where I should shoot it at, but I might push it up to f22 and 1 bullet or something on that line. All right, so I'm gonna be shooting Portra160 and I'm gonna shoot at box speed. And so I'm gonna meter now and see if we can get a shot. So we're gonna go 11 in 1 bullet. This is gonna be interesting for metering. 11 and 1 bullet. All right, so I'm gonna shoot this at f22. 2 seconds. So we're already there at f22. I must apologize. I just lost sound here completely. I ran out of juice on the sound recorder. But here my exposure was f22 at 2 seconds. And here there was not a need for a reciprocity failure adjustment to be made. So it's just a straight 2 seconds. All right, so this is the shot, and to tell you the truth, I'm very, very happy with the result. And image plane focusing worked here beautifully, even though there's still so much room and improvement to be made. Okay, so let's just look at the details here. This is where my focus was for the knee edge of my depth of field, and here is also the furthest edge of my depth of field, just on his sweater right here. I wanted this to be more legible, but for some reason I didn't get it there. But when it comes down to it, I can see that anything in the middle, I got nice details and so forth. And I can't be any happier than that. And the sign that I was talking to you about just right here, that sign is as crisp as is. And that's in the middle of the composition. Even though I got so much room, you know, to improve, because this technique for me is still in its infancy. I'm very, very happy with the direction that I'm going. Let's go around the corner and then shoot something different. I always wanted to make an exposure of this sculpture behind me, but during the day it's impossible because it's right in front of the train station, so there is always movement, people around. So I decided to come here at night to do this as part of my night photography. And as you can see, there's still a lot of people going. I'm not sure when the last train is going to be, but yes, we're going to try to do something, and let's set up and do this. So with the magic of technology, we got so much light because I cranked my ISO up, and which is great. So this one is going to be a tricky one because there are a few things that I want into this shot, but it's going to be impossible to get them all in the way I want them because I got so many upright as well. And yeah, let's see what we can do here. All right, so 107, 103, or 103 and a half. So that's telling me again, F20. Just set up my focus. So the thing that I'm working on is my focusing. And so far, I'm getting my focusing to be what I want, but my eyes actually being challenged, you know, visually. So sometimes the stuff that I think I got in focus, once I develop the film and scan it, it's not as sharp as I want to. And so now I'm picking out very, very, very minute or small letters. So for focusing here and setting up my depth of field, I could actually read that sign, but for some reason in my reproduction later, when I finish developing the film and scan it, I don't get it to be as sharp as what my eyes actually saw through the ground glass here. So I don't know what's going on. So perhaps my ground glass is not placed properly into the folder, into the ground glass holder. I'm not sure. So, but I'm gonna try to go with this today and see if I could find help in reproducing images that I see being in focus while I'm here, and yet it's not as sharp as I see them during capture. So, all right, so now I close my aperture all the way up to f22, but my minimum absolute aperture needed is f16, so that's okay. But as I said before, when I set up my depth of field, my foreground was really, really sharp, and then that sun was really, really sharp. But now that I close my lens to an aperture of 22, it's legible, but it's not as sharp as I saw it during the setup of my depth of field. So I don't know what's going on here, and hence the reason why I keep trying to find out exactly how this technique is going to be working for me. All right, so now let's mirror this. So right now, the way I'm mirroring, the shadows area, the light shadow areas onto the sculpture is going to be completely black. And if I want to show some detail there, that means that I'm not going to be able to see my sign in the back there. Once again, my apologies for the loss of sound here, but I'm going to fill you in very quickly. As I'm mirroring here, there is a clock in the scene that you cannot see. It's hidden behind the cactus. But I wanted the timestamp underclap to show. So for that reason, I wanted to make sure that it's gonna be, it's gonna have enough detail that so we can see. And I made a decision as well to lose the entry sign so I can gain a little bit of details into the top of the cactus. And so this is the direction that I went with. All right, so this shot came out exactly as I pre-visualized when I was mirroring and so on. I wanted this clock here to show the timestamp while I was shooting, and I wanted detail. That's not as pre-visualization, but I wanted detail to be in the front here, and I wanted to lose the detail from here so I can gain those highlights on the edge of the top of the cactus to give me a separation into the dark night sky that's in the back there. But the reason why I went out to photograph at night was to practice actually the far edge of my depth of field. As you can see, I'm still getting a lot of definitions into what I want into that far edge of my depth of field, but yet they're not as crisp as what I get in the foreground. This is what I'm working so hard on, trying to get focus to be all the way from the front to the back, and for that to be tack sharp so we can even read those labels on the payphone if need be. All right, so what else can I share with you? All right, so during that evening, I made a couple other exposures inadvertently. And for this particular one here, I was trying to practice a little bit of swing, and then which I've done. And I got detail from here all the way to the back there, and then from here all the way across. As we would do in large format photography, there are 101 million ways to mess it up. But even though I messed it up a little bit, I just used a different film stock. I was meant to shoot this using Ilford HP5, but I end up using Ektachrome E100 slide film for this. So hence the reason why I lost that detail in here and so on. So the next exposure that I made was this one. So this particular shot here, I used tilt, and this is where I tilted from here to there because I wanted this ICD to show. And it is almost as crisp as I would like it to be. I'm using Capture One for as my editing software, so sometimes it takes a little bit of time to generate the previews, okay? But maybe I should have gone to something inside there which would actually encompass this into the scene. But anyway, this here is good enough for me. And here I got plenty of detail as well, you know, which is I'm happy with. And not only that, the mid-run here, this is sharp as well, and I would like it to be even sharper as I keep improving with this technique. All right, so this is the journey that I've been on. I know what I'm doing, but at the same time too, I need to improve the results that I'm getting. Hence the reason why I'm testing, I'm practicing hands-on and so forth. And I appreciate you coming along the journey with me, and would love to see you hang around as well. So you know what to do. Until then, cheers.